Narito ang programang totoong-totoo, Tambayan sa DWIZ. Programang magliliwanag ng ilang mahahalagang mga issue. Tambayan sa DWIZ. At ngayon, narito na sila upang maghatid ng saya sa bawat Pilipino. Sa programang Tambayan sa DWIZ.
Magandang tanghali sa inyong lahat. Ito po si Mang Kanor. Si Ahmed Paglinawan po ito. Kasama natin sa himpilan si Ginoong Kits Barha.
Wow, Ginoo.
Si Ginang Trixie Cruz Angeles ay nawawala pa rin po. Ipapablatter na po natin kung sakaling hindi pa rin.
Hindi ba meron siyang what you call this? Parang
sakit.
paper ba yun o sakit?
Sakit sa utak.
Patay.
Alright. Huwag natin kalimutan. Mag-share kayo. Mag-share sa Facebook at saka sa YouTube. Ang ating hotline ay 84701-750 hanggang 54. At saka text hotline 0918-350-2378. Ayan po. Nandun din tayo sa Facebook. May live din tayo doon sa DWIZ 882 at saka sa YouTube. Tingnan din ninyo doon. Okay. Anong gusto ninyong pag-usapan ngayon? Dahil ako, kahit ano lang ang gusto kong pag-usapan ito.
Okay. Actually, siguro konting recap lang doon sa nangyaring Senate hearing kahapon. Siguro as a ordinaryong mamamayan, kailangan ko may mga katanungan ako at ikaw, you're in the position to, because of your awesomeness.
Totoo yan. Pero hindi dahil alam ko yan, abogado ako. Hindi, marami din ako hindi alam.
I think you are more knowledgeable.
Awesome lang talaga siguro.
Oo nga. In the gusto ko lang may mga tanong lang ako tungkol doon. Number one, yung tanong ko is, meron ko waranto. And then, doon sa Senate hearing, I think they've spent about a big portion of it discussing or yung right nila to hold a hearing.
Yes.
And para bang yung justification tagal bawat senador that they're justifying bakit.
Okay, unahin natin yan.
Okay.
That's the first question. Well, merong power ang Kongreso, not only the Senate but also the House of Representatives to hold hearings, okay? Fact-finding activities para matulungan silang gumawa ng batas. That means there is no law on a certain matter. Usually ito yung may mga bagong scam, may mga bagong development sa corruption na hindi pa-covered na existing na batas. Okay? So, kagaya din dito. You can argue, anyone can argue that there are so many avenues of this issue with ABS-CBN and other stations as well na hindi pa covered squarely ng batas. Okay? So that they are entitled, okay? They are in fact they are mandated to find out the truth, the facts of these matters in order for them to be guided accordingly when they make the laws, kung gagawa na sila ng batas. So, there is no question that they can do an investigation like what they did yesterday, although I didn't watch it.
Well, I did watch the show, and minsan parang feeling ko lang, as an ordinary citizen, parang the show was a little bit one-sided and everybody was like lawyering for ABS-CBN.
What do you mean by everybody?
I'm not saying everybody.
Just say that because if that is your perception, then it is true.
Ang ano doon is
who is saying things for ABS-CBN and who are questioning and
it's
stuff?
Not. There is, well, you see, yung start ng show, siyempre, ang purpose ng show is to find out kung may violations ang ABS-CBN o hindi.
No, it's not exactly a show. It's a it's just a broadcast hearing. Oh.
Okay.
I understand.
So yung hearing was about, number one is to find out if there were violations committed, and then number two is to yung kay panukala ni Drilon to let the franchise operate pending yung approval ng Congress. Yun. But the way I see it, I think a lot of them was for the renewal of ABS-CBN.
Ako rin, I am for the renewal of ABS-CBN of any franchise.
Well, yeah, actually, tama naman yun because honestly, I also believe in that. But
what is the problem?
You always have to look at the both sides. I think tinitingnan lang doon yung mga na magandang ginawa ng ABS-CBN o ano. Pero alam natin maraming issues yan eh. Okay.
Okay, well, sige, let me just cut you there muna. There is a case. There is a Quo Warranto case, diba? And there the allegations are there. They were made public at sinabi doon kung ano ang issues na tinatakal doon.
Okay.
Okay, usually pagka meron ng kaso, lalo na kung nasa husgado ng judikatura, ibig sabihin judiciary, ibig sabihin it's a regular court, it's not a hearing in the NTC and any other administrative body. Hindi yan ginagalaw ng other bodies of government. So either by Congress at saka ng executive.
Okay.
Bakit? Kasi it will preempt the decision of the court. Kahit na sabihin natin na merong obligasyon at karapatan ang Senado at ang Kongreso at kahit ang executive na magkaroon din ng sarili nilang pagtatalakay okay, tungkol doon sa mga issues na pareho na nandun sa Supreme Court, ang kanilang mga desisyon ay hindi yan siya the final decision on the question of law that are involved in the Quo Warranto case. That is the problem with discussing the issues of which are already pending in court. Kasi pag nauna ka doon at nauna kayong magkaroon ng decision and conclusions and all that, and then the court comes up with a decision that is completely opposite yours. And when you go back to the Constitution, the Constitution says it is the court, okay, the Supreme Court, which is the final arbiter of all questions of law in relation to the constitutionality of laws and all other stuff in relation to justice, diba? In court, legal justice. So, nandyan yung admonition na huwag nyo na lang gawin kasi mapipreempt. That's the only one, the first problem. The second problem is this. Baka maapektuhan ang desisyon ng mga judge, ang judge at ng justices, di ba? Bakit? Because when it is public opinion and the public opinion is so much banking to one side or the other, don't forget that while they are expected by law and by the Constitution to come up with an impartial, unbiased, and just completely and solely based on the law and the facts of the case na desisyon, ay ngayon hindi na kasi napapangunahan na sila ng opinion ng karamihan. Maaring maapektuhan sila ng mga nababasa nila sa news na ganito pala. When in fact, they have to find out the truth of these facts that they are reading during the trial pa na hindi pa nakakarating doon.
So basically, ang sabi mo, again, let me interject.
Yes.
Sinasabi mo is dapat tumahimik muna yung Senado at Kongreso dahil nag-file ang executive sa Korte Suprema. So they should have given the Supreme Court the respect.
Yes. That is their obligation, but okay. Hindi rin natin yan siya pwedeng gawing black and white na sitwasyon. Like either you shut up or you don't shut up. Okay. Hindi rin kasi laging ganyan dahil it is not always the case na pagka nagkaroon, may kaso at nag-public hearing naman itong Kongreso o Senado, it does not mean na parehong issues. Sometimes it looks like they're the same. Okay, and sometimes there's a pretense that they are not the same, but in reality they are the same really. So there's room for play dito na parang this is not squarely the same issues as the Supreme Court is facing in that case. So but still para sa because now that we know the reason why it is required na wag na lang nating sabayan kasi nga gugulo ang sitwasyon ng mga tao ay hindi na ngayon alam ano ang papaniwalaan. Okay, and well, while we subscribe, while we follow the principle na we must have a suspension of belief until all facts and circumstances have been found at na pag-aralan na at saka na tayo maniniwala, but the public does not subscribe to that necessarily.
Yes.
Ang public, pag nabasa yan, narinig, natanggap sa text, naniniwala na agad yan.
Emosyon na. Okay.
So now, we can say that those are two different treatments of the issues, even if they were the same. But hindi rin nila madideny na may epekto to sa tao. And eventually, may epekto to sa impartiality ng gumagawa ng desisyon.
Yes.
Kasi, yan pala yung mga justice na hindi pumayag doon. Napakawalang galit sa'yo yung buong Pilipinas. Na followers ng ABS-CBN. So, okay, it's just a matter of courtesy. Intelligent people do that. Okay. Stupid people, however, do not. And sometimes they always like to do the opposite of what is an intelligent principle. And that is why we see all of these things.
Okay.
Kaya nangyayari yan.
Okay. Maliwanag. But ito may minention kasi din si, again, just for ng karamihan, si Sec Guevara. Okay? So, siyempre, in-explain niya yung side ng DOJ.
Right.
First, everybody knows that nilabas naman niya na yung kung kailan mag-expire yung franchise.
Right. It will definitely expire sometime this March.
I think sabi niya the franchise will expire on May 4, 2020 because base doon sa Section 50 ng franchise, it becomes effective 15 days from the date of publication.
Very well. Okay.
Anyway. So, yun ang sinabi niya. And then, meron siyang sinabi dito, wala sa franchise, nothing on the franchise or in the radio-controlled law, in the public service law, or any other law that provides for a situation where a franchise expires during the pendency of its application for renewal with Congress. Anyway, siguro ma-explain mo yun in
okay.
So,
if I understand your question correctly, tinatanong mo ano ang mangyayari kung ang franchise ay na-issue ng Kongreso, okay? Kasi ganito yan, kids. Ang Kongreso magbibigay ng franchise. Okay? Ito ang franchise ang magbibigay ng karapatan, ng privilege pala, to a person or a company to do a broadcast service in the country. Okay, but it does not say there kung ano mismo ang gagawin mo, whether it's an AM and FM or, well, I think sa franchise meron nang sinasabi kung TV yan, AM or FM yan. Pero hindi pa sinasabi kung anong channel, or kung radio yan, anong frequency, or kung municipality nag-apply niyan, kung anong municipality, kung ano ang kanyang jurisdiction, ibig sabihin yung kanyang operating area. Hindi yan sinasabi sa Kongreso dahil hindi sila experts dyan. So, the law 576, okay, walang A, 576 lang, made the NTC the body that will handle these things. After a franchise is passed into law, ang NTC ngayon ang gagawa ng ang implementing rules and regulations ng franchise na yan kasi batas yung franchise So ang proseso dyan is the NTC will issue a CPC, a Certificate of Public Convenience. Okay?
Is that the same as a provisional authority?
Hindi. Iba yan. Ang CPC ay ang nagsasabi na okay, you have a franchise and you are now certified as a public service, a public utility. That is a different issue in law.
Okay.
Meron kang franchise but you do not comply with the rules of being a public utility, hindi ka rin makakapag-operate ng kahit anong istasyon. You have to comply with that, and that is required by another law. Not only the franchise. In fact, ang franchise, one of the conditions there is that you obey all laws of this country.
Okay. Yeah.
And this requirement of ICPC is required by another law. Yung public utility for the law that governs all public utilities like taxi, like buses, ito kasama yan dyan. So, meron yang tinatawag na CPC. Yan yon. Ang CPC, ang application at ang approval yan ay mahabang proseso dahil ang dami mong ipoprove. Okay? So, meanwhile, ginagawa mo yan, meron ka na rin, kasi isipin mo na ang gagawin mo pagka mag-broadcast ka is to work out your theoretical authority, ibig sabihin, your authority under the law, and also on your capacity to do the business that you want to do. Kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng hintayin na malabas mo ng CPC bago ka magpatayo ng stasyon o bumili ng mga equipment, mics, hire people.
Yeah.
So habang nagproseso ang ginagawa yung CPC, magsisimula ka na rin magpatayo ng building, patayo ng tower, kasi mahirap yun gawin eh. Hindi naman ora-orada yun. At ang pera ay dumadating o maalis.
Which you have experience.
Yes, because I practice with the NTC.
Okay.
So during that time, nag-file for a CPC, meron yung mga maliliit na mga activities, okay, on the side of the applicant na permit to build. So there is a permit to build na ibinibigay ang NTC. O sige, we permit you to put up a building. Just put up the building. Okay, and then meron din permit to import or to buy and purchase and import. Ang ibig sabihin yan, because broadcast is a regulated industry sa Pilipinas, ang mga equipment din nito ay kailangan din aprobado ng NTC. Hindi rin basta-basta makabili ng transmitter o part ng mga antena ng mga radio stations na walang permit. Hindi ka rin makakabili. Okay? At yung mga tao naman na bumibili sa ibang bansa ay kailangan permit to import. Para makabili sila while they are there, they can bring it here. And meron pa nga permit to transport.
Okay.
Because you can't just buy it, bring it here, and transport it without any permit. All of these things would happen while your CPC is pending with the NTC.
Okay.
Ngayon, habang naghihiring yan, because it usually takes about 3 years yung CPC bago ma-approve. Kasi ang dami mong kailangan i-prove na some of them you can only prove if you have been operating. So paano ko ma-prove kung hindi pa ako nag-ooperate? Or how can I gauge my financial capacity to run this business if I haven't even begun my business? So ang nangyayari dyan is, sige, we will allow you to do that so that you can have a practice run of your business. See if you can do it and see if you have the technical capacity to do it, you have the money to do it, and you have the ability to run the entire business according to your franchise.
Okay.
So magsisimula ka na magtayo ng building, bibili ka na ng equipment, all that stuff.
Okay.
Ngayon, pag nabuo mo na yan, meron ka ng equipment, meron ka ng antenna, meron ka ng technical staff, okay?
Okay.
All you have to do, all you need to do right there is to broadcast, to actually broadcast. Pero wala ka pang CPC. Okay? Ngayon, mag-a-apply ka na naman ngayon ng provisional authority to operate.
Yes, yun
okay. Yung provisional
ko.
authority to operate is issued in lieu of the CPC because the CPC application is still pending. And all the while, you are already ready to broadcast.
Okay.
And you are supposed to broadcast anyway, a test broadcast. Okay? Para malaman mo na may frequency ka na. Kasi hihingi ka rin ng frequency sa NTC. Hindi yan pwedeng kumuha ka na lang ng frequency from thin air na maisip mo. Kasi inaaral din yan ng mga expert ng mga tawag yung mga ECE, electronics and communications engineers. Inaaral nila na hindi nag-overlap yung signals, hindi nagsasapawan yung mga adjacent radios at saka co-adjacent, yung malayo-layo ng konti, but their signals would tend to reach each other.
Ang ABS-CBN already has their signals. Okay, ang ano lang dito yung provisional authority. Pag mayroong concurrent resolution yung Congress, then NTC can
they can actually do that.
License to ABS-CBN.
Yes. And to tell and for the benefit of the Secretary of Justice, there is actually that practice in the NTC. At hindi yan siya bago. Ginagawa na yan noon pa. Na pending yung application mo for a new franchise, application mo for a renewal of your franchise, or even just the renewal of your CPC, okay? You are authorized to continue operating.
Just like, parang ito yung
hindi yan bago
sa smart CBCP,
yes. I was the lawyer for the CBCP when I was applying for all these radio stations. And I know all of these things.
Okay.
So, that is the reason.
But the PTNT, Smart and CBC,
mga telecoms yan. I don't know much about the telecoms.
But they were allowed to operate
despite that is not new.
Nag-expiring franchise.
Yes, that is not new. That is not new at all.
As long as the application of renewal
is already pending.
Is pending or were lodged before nag-lapse yung franchise.
Usually, ganun talaga ang ginagawa. Everybody knows that. Everybody who operates a media broadcast radio station or TV station, they know this. Alam nila yan na pag malapit mag-expire, 1 year before the expiration, they already file it with Congress because they need to lobby and all that stuff. But meanwhile, kasi hindi yan nagko-coincide kasi usually 25 years yung franchise
Tagal, no?
Nga dati it was 50 years renewable for another 50 years. Ngayon ay pinaiklian.
Pinaiklian na. Actually, 50 years.
Pero wala na siyang limit.
Yung 50 years, that was the time
ni President Marcos and even before that. But before President Marcos, wala pa masyadong radio noon.
Actually, mamaya can we touch on that, yung speaking of President Marcos and tungkol sa isang presidential decree na ginawa niya doon sa media. But before that, ang ino ko lang para maano natin is kasi may sinabi si Bongo rin doon
Anong sinabi ni Bongo?
Number one, ito lang sinasabi mo kanina pinag-usapan natin that the three branches of government, pag dumating na sa korte, timing mo na yung dalawa. By professional courtesy. Courtesy, but they still can do whatever they want.
They can.
Ngayon, sabi niya, irespeto na yung decision ng High Court as co-equal branch of government. It will respect its decision to decide on dun sa kawaranto. I think he was mentioning...
He is not saying anything so far. So what is the meat of what the hell he's saying? So far, meaningless yung pinagsasabi niya. They are entitled. Of course, they are entitled. Nothing you can say or do can change that. So what is the point of this guy?
Ang inano lang nandito is dun sa ano niya, dapat kung ano yung franchise uli ng ABS-CBN.
Kung i-approve.
Ano yung mga safeguards na hindi uli mangyari yung nangyari. For example, kay Presidente, tungkol sa ano. And he wants na parang to conform to the ethics of honest enterprise.
That is good.
Okay. Yun ang sinasabi na doon.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yun lang ang may meaning sa sinabi niya. And even then, that is assumed. That is presumed in those offices. Their office are presumed to be they are populated by intelligent people. That they will put in those safeguards so that hindi makakaabuso ang kahit sino stasyon. Kahit hindi ABS-CBN, lahat. Okay?
Which is happening right now.
So, that should be, that is a good purpose for their public hearing yesterday.
Okay.
Na malaman nila kung ano ang ilalagay dyan. Except that, it is not really for them right now, okay? It is not so necessary for them to talk about this right now kasi hindi pa napapas ng Kongreso
lower house,
ang bill.
Yung bill.
So they are in fact preempting everything. they are preempting the judiciary, and they are also preempting their lower house.
Which actually yung parang gusto kong i-drive yung point, probably because my brain does not function as a lawyer. But again, my sentiments is just like ordinary people.
So, ang punto sana doon, kids, is they could have waited for Congress to have forwarded the bill to them for consideration before they hear all of these things. But again, sinasabi natin, hindi naman kasi ang intention ng tao ay purely about this issue. Sometimes it's about the next election.
Kaya nga sinasabi ko sa iyo kanina, parang ang feeling ko, babalik tayo sa sinabi ko, na parang one-sided to. It's just like, okay, everybody wants to, wala kong sinasabi na hindi i-renew yung franchise.
Because it's not up to us.
It's not up to us. And plus, kung sa opinion lang naman ng tao, I mean, there are employees there and everything. So that's another story actually. Yes. Hindi naman na talaga yung dapat kwento. Ang dapat tinatalakay dito is yung...
What can you do to stop this thing from happening again?
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Yun lang.
Okay, but then, I noticed na marami pa silang sinasabi doon. At itong si Rambo Talabong ng Rappler ay kung ano-ano rin ang sinasabi.
Sabi.
Ang sinabi na it seems that the outcome of to the effect, the outcome of the Senate hearing is that wala naman palang wala palang batas na violate ang ABS-CBN. Yan ang finding daw ng hearing kahapon. And then, yun yung kanyang tweet. Okay. And then, he continues na ang ito lang kanyang wingman na si Bongo ang drum up ng emotions para ipagtanggol yung para igiit yung problema ni Duterte about his ads na hindi nilabas. And then finally he says 11,000 jobs are at risk to that effect just because of the ego of one person. Apparently these things are the result of the public hearing done by the Senate yesterday. What insane person would say that? I mean, I did not watch the public hearing yesterday, but I'm sure they did not come up with that finding.
Wala. Kasi baka mapagalitan ako ni Attorney Trixie.
Hindi kita mapagalitan. Wala siya dito.
Wala siya dito. Tingnan nyo yung yung hearing, pag-usapan nyo yan. Sabi ko, like...
Inuutusan niya tayo, ganon?
Hindi. Wag. Ikaw, you're putting me on the spot.
Inuutusan?
Hindi. Ang sinabi lang niya, kung pwede. Ngayon, alam mo, utang na ako 2 steak sa kanya, magiging 4 ko.
Pag-isipan natin yung kanyang steak.
Hindi. ang niya doon. So, hindi rin ako nanood. So, kagabi, pinanood ko. So, I need to be educated also.
Alright.
Tulad sa lahat ng ating mamamayan na kailangan maging educated din tungkol sa mga bagay nito. Because, hindi naman... there's law involved here. Hindi naman itong problema na alimbawa hindi ka binigyan ng barbecue dahil nagbayad ka ng 25 pesos. Hindi naman gano'n. Now, ang doon is pinanood ko until actually kanina. So, nakita ko doon, it was like for propping up ABS-CBN. In fact, si ABS-CBN nagpalabas pa sila ng lahat ng magandang ginawa nila sa okay, that's well and good. Okay. Siguro hindi pa tapos itong mga hearing na to. So, ang point dito is baka naman may ibang resource persons na ipapasok which will address yung mga issues na medyo may problema ang ABS-CBN.
Well, personally, before we go on a break, I think that the Senate already achieved their purpose yesterday.
Okay.
And they already did. And the purpose yesterday was what exactly happened yesterday. That is the purpose of that Senate hearing. Nothing else.
Okay.
Sige, magpapahinga muna tayo. Paalala.
At least hindi na ako nag-stutter ngayon.
Tambayan sa DWIZ. Muli nating balikan. Tambayan sa DWIZ.
Magandang hapon, tanghali ulit sa inyong lahat.
Tanghali.
Si Gits pa rin ang kasama natin at salamat
dito pa rin ako, buhay pa rin.
Oo, awesome na nga ito si Gits eh. Ano nga yung balita? Ano yung balita kanina? Yung empleyado na na-fire ng GMA. Okay. Okay, mabilis lang on that. Yung mga nakikitang posts no sa Facebook na nagsasabi 11,000 employees will be fired, will lose their jobs, ganun. Okay. Quickly, the government has no obligation to those people. Okay? The government, the only obligation of government is to safeguard all labor contracts, all labor relationships, employee-employee relationships, and others by the enactment of the labor code.
Okay.
Yan ang obligasyon ng Estado, pangalagaan ang labor system, and the way that it did that, it complied with that obligation, is to enact the labor code. And to have agencies that will enforce the labor code. Meron na. Yan ang obligasyon ng Pilipinas sa mga empleyado ng ABS-CBN.
Okay.
Wala nang iba. Walang obligasyon ang Pilipinas na panatiliin yung kanilang employer kahit na hindi ito sumusunod sa batas para lang ma-employ sila. Okay? It is not the business of the Philippines to employ you people.
Okay, the law does not discriminate. Kumbaga, tama ba yan? Yeah. Anyway.
Alright, next. Yung sa tanong mo kanina before we went on the break. May tanong ako sa iyo,
yung sa break. Balik muna tayo kay Secretary
Guevara.
Kasi sinabi na dito, there is a gap in the law that could have declared the status of operations of a radio and television franchisee when Congress does not act on the bill on the renewal of its franchise. Kung merong gap daw, may equity na tinatawag na papasok. Ngayon, yung equity na yun, medyo sa akin, probably you can explain it.
Equity is a bank. Equitable bank.
Equitable bank.
yung principle ng equity. Okay.
Yeah,
principle ng equity. Okay. We understand that in our system of law and Republican democratic system of government, ay may mga batas tayong sinusunod. The government operates on the basis of laws, right?
Yeah.
And by laws we mean those written and enacted by Congress or by the President during the time of the martial law. Ito ang mga nakasulat na batas.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Paano ngayon ang mga bagay na that would develop, that would come up right now na wala pang batas, na hindi pa siya covered ng batas. Pero kailangan nang asikasuhin ang sitwasyon dahil meron ng mga naaapi o meron ng nakikinabang unjustly. Okay? Because of the situation.
Okay.
Papasok dyan yung equity. Ang principle ng equity, it comes from a common law. Ang atin kasi ay Roman law, yung kailangan nga nakasulat yung batas. Yung common law, there are just principles that have been observed by the system, their government system, na hindi yan siya actually nakasulat. It's just principles, many principles in the brains of the people, no? Justices, members of the executive and Congress, that sense of justice kung ano ang mabuti sa isang sitwasyon kahit na wala pang batas na nagko-cover sa ganyan.
Okay.
So that ang sinasabi dito ni Secretary Guevara, he brings it to he focuses on the issue of whether or not ABS-CBN can continue to operate pending the application for the franchise. Yan lang yung punto niya, nothing else.
Nothing else.
Right?
Nothing else.
Sabi niya, wala daw batas na nagsasabi na anong sitwasyon ng ABS-CBN ito ngayon, okay, habang hindi pa napapasa ng batasan ng Congress ang kanyang franchise.
So yun yung gap?
Yun yung gap. Wala daw po batas. Totoo po yan, wala pong batas na nagsasabi dyan. Wala pong enacted law na nagsasabi dyan. Pero po, Secretary Guevara, meron pong power ang NTC to implement the law, to implement the radio control law, the public utility public service law that involves the broadcast and also the telecoms, yung 1 something RA, yung batas nungkol sa telecoms. And it gave NTC sufficient powers to make its own rules and regulations to implement the small things that would come up during its doing its function, so that there is actually a rule sa NTC na nagsasabing pagka na-file na yung yung application for CPC. CPC pa lang to CPC, yan ang power ng NTC to allow you to function as a radio station. Kahit na pending pa lang yung renewal mo, ay pwede ka nang bigyan ng CPC. Or pending your CPC, pwede ka nang bigyan ng provisional authority to operate.
Yeah, but it is with the concurrence of Congress, yung
No, of course authority. Not. No. That is well within the power of the NTC.
Okay.
Bakit? Okay. Because the issue, the business of the CPC is completely well within the NTC. Power ng NTC yan, kung bigyan ka o hindi ng authority kahit may franchise ka. So that it is not actually a demandable right by anyone who gains franchise from Congress to come to NTC and demand for all this authority. Hindi yan siya automatic. You have to qualify to be a public utility service. You have to qualify for a CPC, in short, in order for you to actually broadcast and make money out of your broadcast. So, dalawa nga yan. Meron pa kang temporary license temporary permit para sa station naman yon. Kasi there is the theoretical authority para sa may-ari ng station na mag-business ng broadcast. There is also a separate authority for the building to be used in that broadcast.
Okay. So
na yung setup mo. So meron ding temporary license for your station to be used in your operation. And those two things are well within the power of the NTC to issue or not to issue.
Okay.
All right. So, in this issue ngayon, in this case, hindi kailangan ng equity dito, Secretary Guevara, because there is already a policy in the NTC to do this because it is in fact unjust. Kung pahintuin mo yan sila sa kanilang business just because pending yung kanilang renewal. And the NTC knows that a long time ago. They already know this a long time ago. And they have been doing this a long time ago. Okay? So it is not true that there is such a situation that requires equity in this case. There is none.
Okay. So, Attorney Osam, meron akong I would like to jump to something else, no? Kasi narinig ko nito sa iyo before and I think nag-research ka nito. Ito tungkol dito sa mga prangkisa.
Yes, sir.
And then, ABS has its own law, actually, it's Republic Act 796.
Yan yung kanilang franchise.
Okay, franchise yan. And the others...
Meron din silang RA.
Pero, doon sa pag-ooperate, I'd like to touch on monopoly. Kasi naririnig natin yon. Yung monopoly. So, kita ba, punta ko sa Wikipedia na, nakita ko, hirap bilangin yung...
Kanyang mga radio stations, TV stations.
Because ABS-CBN is operating in about 16 subsidiaries, I think. So, under each subsidiary, ilan pa yan, di ba?
Alright.
So, ngayon, yung sinabi mo, ay gusto ko explain mo yung Presidential Decree number 576A. This is about regulating yung ownership and operation ng radio, television, and for other purposes. I think this was done during President Marcos' time.
This is done in 1974.
74. Okay. I think it is para lang sa mga kababayan natin nakikinig. Probably you can explain this at para maliwanagan din tayo. Of course.
Well, I cannot explain it in its entirety because it's long. Ang sinasabi nitong batas na to, sana basahin ninyo. It is a short law. Maikli lang ito. Maikli lang. At nandyan po basahin mo yung whereas clauses sa circuits. Yung pinakaunang mga whereas clause.
Whereas the President of the Philippines is empowered under the Constitution to review and approve franchises for public utilities.
Sige, sunod.
Whereas it has been observed that some public utilities, especially radio and television stations, have a tendency toward monopoly in ownership and operating to such an extent that a region or section of the country may be covered by any number of such broadcast stations, all or most of which are owned, operated, or managed by one person or corporation.
Sunod.
Okay. Tama ba yung pag-enunciate?
Tama yan, sir. Wala
akong
pakialam sa kanya. Bahala sa buhay niya.
Whereas radio is the chief vehicle of the dissemination of information, being the source, as surveys have shown, of 86% of all information for the public and television is becoming similarly pervasive.
Yes.
Okay.
Ilan ba yung whereas clauses dyan? Apat na yung nabasa mo.
May dalawa pa.
Basahin na natin lahat
ng
whereas clauses.
Whereas the deep penetration that radio and television does make into the public consciousness gives them the responsibility of assisting the government to promote and safeguard the public welfare.
Yes.
Okay.
Last one.
Whereas on account of the limited number of frequencies available for broadcasting in the Philippines, it is necessary to regulate
Yes.
ownership and operation of radio and television stations and provide measures that would enhance quality and viability in broadcasting and help serve the public interest.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Yan yung whereas clauses. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng whereas clauses? Ito ang statement of the policy of the state.
Yes.
Ano ang gustong gawin ng Estado, ano yung evil na gusto niyang iwasan, at ano ang gusto niyang gawin sa pag-iwas ng evil na yan.
Okay.
Ang sinasabi niya dyan ay importante ang mass media because the information being brought to the people will make them more aware and make them more able to decide kung ano ang gagawin nila sa mga kanilang buhay-buhay.
Okay.
Ngayon, marami ding mga gustong mag-business sa mass media at meron ding lumalabas dyan na may tendency na ang mga stasyon sa isang lugar ay isa na lang ang may-ari. Ang dami na nila dyan at isa na lang ang may-ari.
Yes.
And then finally, that the frequencies, the range of frequencies na available sa broadcast is a limited resource.
Yes.
Okay? It is not infinite. It is a limited resource and therefore, kailangan niyang i-regulate para magkaroon naman ng meaningful na business o ng competition dyan sa lahat ng mga nandyan at saka hindi naman din nadidiminish yung kanilang service sa sobrang dami na nila. Kaya nililimit ng Estado yan. Yan yung rason. Ngayon, kung ang problema mo ay isa na lang ang may-ari, nagiging monopoly na, hindi lang kasi yan business problem, hindi lang kasi economic problem ang monopoly. If you are involved in the business of mass media, there is also the problem of domination of idea. The domination
monopoly of thought.
Yeah. Okay? So, you are not only dominating the economic side of the entire thing, you are also creating clones of yourself. That will oppose, that will run counter to the principle na we should have as many opinions of other people as we can so that we are more informed of certain things.
So, in a way, ito yung parang, you may be able to say that in this manner, if you monopolize the airwave, you are also curtailing the freedom of speech of others.
And thought. Freedom of expression
and all those things.
Everything.
Yeah, okay. And you can rewrite history because of that.
You can rewrite or write history.
Write history
yes,
because
despite
of that.
the people. History is always written by the people who live it.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
But in this case, it can happen na na-brainwash mo na lahat ng tao, you can actually guide them to down the road of a history that you want to happen. So, what is the evil here? The evil here is one, monopoly. It is an unfair business attitude. You are disallowing others to participate in the economic activity. Pangalawa, it is also deleterious in the principles of democracy kasi ang democracy, the rule of the people.
Yes.
How many people are there? There should be as much rules there. In other words, if there are as many rules as there are many people in a democracy, it is incumbent upon us to listen to the opinions of these people so that we can make each other understand that your rule is something, it's not just. It is not fair for other people. So let's not do that. Kung hindi natin yan nagagawa, ang diskurso, hindi natin mako-correct ang isa't isa.
Okay.
And that is why this law exists.
Okay.
Both for economic and for the principles of freedom, of democracy.
There's two very important, I think, sections dito. Section 3 saka Section 4.
Yes. Meron pong dalawa pa dyan, pero mamaya na.
Yeah, pero ito ang Section 3, no? No person or corporation may own, operate, or manage more than one radio or television station in one municipality or city. Nor more than 5 AM and 5 FM radio station.
And AM and
AM
FM.
and FM radio station, nor more than 5 television channels in the entire country.
Yeah.
Okay.
4.
Okay. 4 is any person or corporation which owns more than the number of radio or television stations authorized in the preceding section, which is Section 3, shall divest itself of the excess stations or channels. Any excess station shall be sold through the Bureau of Telecommunications, which is actually defunct.
NTC na yan.
NTC right now. Okay. So, basically, if you have
more than that,
you
violated this law.
You violated this law. Wala ba nag-supersede nitong law na to?
Nope.
No, wala
it was still used by the Supreme Court in a 2003 case and another more recently na sinabi niya pa rin na this is a good law.
It is a good law.
Yes.
Well, actually, it's a law that really protects the rights of everybody.
Not only that, it is a law that somehow just does the two things that we were talking about: economic justness, the fairness, and also the freedom of thought.
Yeah. So now, do you see that happening?
Yes, I can see that happening. If they are not going to do it, I will. But the problem there is that it's not just ABS-CBN, but that is not my problem. It's theirs.
It's actually not only ABS-CBN, and there are other
what about this? What about that?
That are affected by this law.
Yeah, and that is what Secretary of Justice Maynard Ibarra, this is a law, and also you, Rambo Talabong, who doesn't know this law, know this now. There is a law that ABS-CBN broke. There is a law that even Congress just completely ignored when they gave all of these franchises to these networks. This has been here since 1974. And if Congress had a mind, they would have seen this and not given all these franchises to the same networks because they know it's illegal.
So nobody, even not one single one of them, bothered or nalaman ito o baga binusisi itong
No, I don't know how they have. That should be the purpose of committee hearings and all these public hearings. But it seems that they just completely forgot about this law.
I thought most of them are awesome lawyers also.
Okay, nangyari na yan. Ang problema, walang nagreklamo. So now I am going to complain about this. Are you complaining with me about this?
Of course,
there it is.
Definitely.
Paramihin natin ang mga tao na magko-complain because we only have 1 more minute to go.
Yeah.
We have a final final words before we head off.
Nagpapasalamat ako sa iyo, actually kay Trixie, on making stay in this radio or participate here, no? Because maraming dapat kailangan matutunan. And isa pa to, ang problema kasi ngayon, dahil ang media, they control the narratives. No?
Yeah.
Iyan ang problema dito. Especially if you just have a few of them, and anybody can go to them and say, okay, we'll give you this much, and then you say what we want.
Yes.
Medyo nakakatakot yun. Kasi, for example, pag yan ang nangyari kay Presidente, halimbawa ganon, no? Pwede rin mangyari din yan sa
ibang tao.
Sa mga ordinaryong mamamayan.
Tama.
So I think there would be fairness in everything. This country is not only for a few people. this country
It's for everyone.
is for everybody. And I think those who are in power, those who have money, who are wealthy, and who runs this country should be fair in their treatment of the rest of the Filipinos.
Kasamahan mo ba ako ulit? Pagpatuloy pa natin to, hindi pa tapos to, sir.
Yeah,
hindi pa
okay,
tapos to. We are going to tell these people who do not know anything about the NTC and all of these things, we will tell them.
Sige.
We will tell them, and we will also teach them what to do with these networks. If they do not know this, then it is our service to them that we will inform this to them, these people.
I think dapat talagang makarating sa kanila and busisin nila at see how this law can actually be of service.
Yes. Okay. Maraming salamat po. Sa ngalan ni Brother Kits Barha at si Attorney Trixie na sana matapos na yung kanyang paper. Nagpapasalamat po sa inyong lahat sa pagpapanood, pakikinig. Ang susunod na programa ay In the Heart of Business kasama si Miss Maru Pahati Sarne.
Tambayan sa DWIZ.